folks? We are back here on the Stew Dog Ghost Pepper Drive. We are in section 4 in the book, and I don't know if I've been labeling these correctly or mentioning them correctly. It's hard now to get to that. I moved the camera, but section 4, the capacitors, and these are the polarized capacitors, and then section 5, which is upside down in your camera, will be the non-polarized capacitors. So all of these things that have different length legs are automatically, you can identify them as being polarized. And then the white or the stripe, I don't know if they all have white stripes or there'll be different color stripes, but they're all going to have some sort of identifying stripe. In this case, it's a black stripe. You can see they're blue with a black stripe. And the stripe designates, I believe, negative. Let me look at my notes real quick here. Negative. Stripe running to the length of each leg identifies a negative. So anyway, but, and in this case, just double checking, because I knew there's a square hole, but in that one place it was looking like, oh, where's my visor? At one place it was looking like it needed to be, it was calling it out as positive. So I don't know if if the stripe side or the short side is negative, then the positive side, they're definitely labeled as positive. So unless there's something here, one is round and one is square. So I guess the whole idea that it's labeled positive next to it will tell me that's not the negative. So everything that's got capacitor is labeled with a positive next to the square hole. So now that we've got that out of the way, tin the iron again. Basically, I do that, clean it off, and then I'm ready for when I start, and I just tin it immediately before. Now, I did change the camera angle, and obviously you can see that there's a tripod leg here in the middle of things. All right, so the first cap would be a 1UF. It's the gray ones. There's 7 of them, and they are the gray ones in this bag here that I've already double-checked. Like I said yesterday, we're on to a new day. I don't have a way to test these capacitors. I've been trying to think of somebody I know that might have the appropriate testing gear. Okay, so there's my 7 caps that are 1UF. Double checking. They are indeed 1UF, yes. And the negative is the shorter lead, and in this case, that'll all get the same ones. And then we've got these 4 over here, and they all get the same ones. So basically, now I have had no problem so far just putting these through, tweaking the leads a little bit and flipping it over and soldering it. But now that these are taller, it might not be quite so clean. So the short or the stripe is negative. So I feel very confident in putting these in accordingly. Okay, long lead, do the positive. That would have been simpler since that's the way it's labeled, I believe, to have put that in the instructions that way. 1UF. Okay. This one looks straight where it is. I'm going to tin it. Come on. There we go. I think it would be handy to have a thinner tip on this, but at least it's hot on the end of the tip. I don't know if you know, Daisy Tempest is a fairly new YouTube channel. She's already got 10,000 subs because she's cute. She's female. If I were a cute female, I'd have more subs. But she is she does very good videos. I'm not knocking it. But Steve Mac gave her a kit to build Stu-Meg giving her lots of stuff because she's cute. She is mostly acoustic guitars, by the way, so, or that's what she builds. I don't know why they gave her a ghost pedal, but uh-oh. I actually just soldered 2 of these together. These things are a lot. Oh, you can't even see how well you're penetrating on these either. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not up in the camera, but I got a link between these two of a blob of solder that just went through here, so I've got to get that out of there. Okay. I was able to take care of that. Checking, they look straight. You can kind of tweak them after the fact too. That's good. So I'm just snipping these wires out of here so that they're not in my way. Am I in the camera? Nope. Not used to working this close to the camera, as you can tell. Oops. All right. Been polying these wires up, these little cutoffs, and putting them in a bag so that I can use them when I'm doing mini switches and stuff, and you just need to cross a tab. I am not going to, once again, I'm not going to make you watch all this. I'm going to move on. I'm also going to double check my verbiage just to make sure that the appropriate, negative and positive. I know I've read it a number of times and I'm sure that's correct, but before I commit myself to soldering the entire board that way, I'm going to double check myself. So I'll be back. Just recapping. I'm not positive what I've said already. We did all of the resistors. Then we did all of the polarized capacitors, and now we're doing the non-polarized. So you've got a couple here, and these little ceramic guys are also non-polarized capacitors, and another one. So we have another 11 of these to put in. I've actually been orienting it this way because that's the way the picture in the book is. So also take a second here to show you the solder joints. Yeah, everything's very clean. Very happy with the way. I haven't fried anything. So basically I have 4 to add at this point. And they're the 4 that are laying right here. And the interesting thing about all of these caps is if some of them have markings on the face and some of them just have markings on the end. And even though the marking in the book might say 100 NF capacitor, the number on the end actually matches the number they're showing in the picture and the number that's printed on here. So that's where I got confused before when I said I had 2 that didn't line up. Anyway, too much time talking. Let's move on. So the visor down. Soldering iron has been heating up, and it doesn't take this iron very long to get hot at all. Oops, there we go. And so it's ready to go. So what's the first one here? The 2.2 NF. And that's that guy right there. 2.2. No idea if it's focusing. And these are hard. I've had a few on the cardboard. They're hard to get off. The tape is really adhered to these. This is actually the first time I've just cut it on both sides. And I'll just use my fingernail to drag it off the ends here. There we go. All right, so 2.2 goes where? Right there. There we, oh, I don't have my lights on yet. That might make a difference. 2.2 right there. Same process. Now this one doesn't want to go all the way down to the board. Well, yes, it will. There was a resistor kind of holding it out. So same thing, just put it in here, bend the wires a little bit to keep things kind of lined up, and then come on in with the iron. And I have done it where I've, done a 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, and to tell you the truth, if they're separated enough, it's fine. But they don't always. Usually you're working around us where you're trying to get around one and the wire's just holding your solder, you can't get in there. So this is actually better just to go one at a time. And as I mentioned before, flipping this thing over isn't a problem either. It's just pretty straightforward. The little doodaddy thing is if you did this all day long, maybe that would help out. All right, that guy's in. IC sockets and chips, section 6. And that was easy for me to say. So we're going to start out with the integrated socket. There's 3 of them. So these appear to all be the same. Let's see if there's a number. I know I already checked them. Is just put a piece of tape across that rather than try to bend all those legs over. So here we go, piece of tape. And then we'll solder those in. Let's make sure we're in the movie. So there's 8, 4 on each side. So let's just start right here. Oh. So they've provided 2 feet of number 24 lead. Nope, that's 24 inches. Doesn't say what size this is. This is about 22 gauge wire, maybe a little finer. And anyway, so we're going to cut 6 at 2 inches, which is just going to go like this up out of here so it's not in the way. All right, there's one. And then it says to strip them. Did I say the battery's low? It's going to go out here soon, I'm sure. It says to strip those at 3/30 seconds.